had had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging E.T. in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Does it work? Yeah, it works. Good. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. I got my producer, Mr. Jay. He'll be here shortly because I kind of sent him some military stuff, videos that I'd like to share with you. So, a couple notes before I continue going. First of all, I'd like to thank Heidi. Good to see you, Kevin. Sally, good to hon. Mish, of course, it's always wonderful to see you. You rocked my day down there in Australia, buddy. I'm telling you, yeah. But no, I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 17.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you 2 hours, the Sunday night and Tuesday night, 1 hour piece, to give you the opportunity to share with you guys. I want to say hello to everybody out there in the 130 or 140 different countries that are watching. Holly, good to see. There's like about 140 countries that are listening to us now. Also remember, CL Thomas, the Gateway Podcast, she has like an awesome guest tonight. She really does. She got Michelle DeRoche coming on, and they're going to talk about haunted battlefields. And, hey, CL, good to see you, hon. Just telling you about your show and your guest tonight. I'm telling you what, I mean, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. You got my show, and you got CL show, who's going to have Michelle DeRoche on her show. Come on, what more do you want? I mean, come on, this could be the best Tuesday night ever. I'm telling you. Well, today, the 11/11/2025 is Veterans Day. And this show is going to be about the veterans. Okay. And in the United States, it's our Veterans Day, where we support and acknowledge all the veterans that have, the women and men who have served in the military. Jody McKillick, good to see you, honey. That served in the military to protect the United States and also to protect us. Oh, wow. Mish is from Australia, and they had Remembrance Day yesterday. Thank you. And Australia, oh, there we go. There's a glitch. But to me personally, I'm going to give a warm thank you to all my brothers and sisters who have served in the military, for all the wars that we're in. That there was the Vietnam, the Korean, Iraq, Afghanistan, all that, in the latest ones that are coming up. War is not fun. War is not good, But whenever we go to the recruiter's office and we sign our name on the dotted line, okay. In fact, I have, it's like, that's what we're going to do for 4 years. Hold on a sec. Let me get to my messenger here because I sent it. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay. And yeah, I wrote down a couple things, or I sent myself a couple of things. Thank you, Kurt. Good to see you back on the show. Thank you, Heidi, for all the remembrance. But what is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in his life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including his life. That is honor. And there are way too many people in this country today who no longer understand that fact. Yeah, here's my buddy Jay. All right, I'm going to add Jay. Jay, did you get my stuff, buddy? I'll put you out here. Doomsday Jay. Everybody. Okay, cool. All right, he's got it. That Doomsday Jay Ross is a very dear friend of mine. But he's going to be my producer tonight, and he's going to put up some of the songs.
Okay, all I got is the StreamYard thing. You didn't send me any songs.
I didn't send you no songs?
Hang on. Whoa, I might have. Hang on a second. Let me.
Yeah, they're the last 3 or 4 that I give you. If you can you put the one?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I got it.
All right, can you please put up the courtesy of the red, white, and blue, please, for me?
Courtesy of the
red, white, and blue.
Which one is that? The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I see it. Okay.
All right, so I'm just talking to my producer here, everybody. And I love hot popcorn with salt and butter. And you know what else is good on popcorn? Mish says, get it together, Jay. But, but you know what else is good on popcorn, everybody, is also garlic powder, too.
Oh, yeah. It's very good.
Oh, yeah. Garlic powder on it with butter and salt, and that is some very good popcorn. So as Jay is looking for it, I'm going to, remove, well, I'm going to keep them up here, but just remember, Sally says, hi, Jay, and Heidi says, hi, Jay, and Miss says, good day, Jay. Kevin says the Jaeger kind was awesome when we were kids. Have not in a while to know. yeah, so everyone's popping in, everybody's talking. So,
Well, hey, Kevin, what's going on? All right,
so-
I'm ready for you whenever you want it.
all right, can you put it up?
It's
All right,
up.
please hit play, buddy. Here's a song, everybody. So true, which is so true, Mish. War is not good. You know, war is
Yeah, I mean,
not good
what
at
she
all.
said is absolutely true. I mean, it's always over something stupid. Territory, resources may not be so stupid, but the main two stupid ones are over territory and either religious or political ideas.
Right. And it's kind of sucky, don't you think, Jay? I mean, think about it. You just watch that song, and I do believe that song was written for 9/11. Okay, when that happened.
Yes.
But it just goes to show you that people today don't understand what the people in all the military, the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, you know, Space Force, you know, they don't understand what we have done to protect the United States, and we get shit on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no idea. I was thinking about that earlier today, Sean, actually. You know, they were talking about Trump was yesterday. Or Sunday rather. He had a bunch of troops that he oathed into their positions. He got flack for that. Then this morning or this afternoon, he did a wreath lay down at the tomb of the unknown soldier. He's probably going to get flack for that. But I was thinking about it. You know, the average age of a fighter in World War II was 22 years old. The average age of the fighter in the Vietnam conflict was 19. And think about that. All of our military men and women usually decide to join between the ages of 18 and 20. They're kids. They're babies. They're going to this new way of thinking. They go to boot camp where they are mentally broken down and taught to learn and think and act and move as a group. You are no longer an individual. You have to work together or your army will fail. And then if they have to go to actual combat and see any combat, they're getting killed, maimed, horribly either disfigured and or horribly mentally traumatized. And then they come back here. We give them, you know, not me, but other civilians give them shit. Baby killers, what they call the Vietnam vets.
That was terrible,
just, you know,
man.
they have no idea the horrors of war. I've seen some pretty horrible stuff in my life. Not to, you know, brag or anything, but you know, seeing someone die, and I'm not talking like grandpa in a hospital. I'm talking, you know, in a very violent way. It changes you. It affects you, and it stays with you till the end of your life.
Exactly. And I know a lot of Vietnam vets. I know a lot of Iraqi veterans too. I know a lot of Afghanistan veterans too. And it really bothers me to see how people treat us, even to the military today, to the soldiers, the Marines, and but don't these people? What bothers me the most about it, my friend, is that people don't really understand what we, who was in the military, and even the civilians who were in the military, okay, what we went through to protect them. And all they do is they shit on us, you know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of people might not like the show tonight, but you know what? They have to be answered. This has to be talked about.
Yeah, I agree.
It's sad hearing the stories of a 15-year-old presenting to be of age. I wonder what they felt like when they faced the end of, you know, and
yeah,
you know what I mean?
We had that in World War II. There was a lot of young kids trying to, you know, get in under the age of 18.
And so how about Vietnam? Think about it, right? Think about Vietnam. All those kids that just graduated from high school, you know, they didn't do their summer parties, and they went over to Vietnam. Well, they had the draft back then. And what was sucky about the Vietnam War is that wasn't our war. It was not our war. And of course, you know, the United States, who, you know, wanted to make money, just kept that war going on, going on, going on. Kurt says, I think about Russia, and they usually solve their conflicts by just pure numbers games. We will send more than you, and that's crazy. Of course it is, Kurt. Absolutely
Yeah.
it is. It is
And
crazy.
overwhelming of troops, but that doesn't always work. So there, if anyone remembers or recalls the Battle of the 300, now they did lose, but they fought off against a much larger force and were able to survive several days during that battle. And there's a few battles with Civil War, a few battles in other wars where superior forces were met with inferior forces and lost. Mussolini in northern Africa was just riddled with problems when he was trying to take over Ethiopia. He couldn't do it. He called his buddy Adolf, and Adolf had to take his best air marshal and send him down to Africa to quell the situation because they needed that area for the gasoline.
Right.
And I think that's probably one of the things why they lost is he took his main military general out of Europe and put him in Africa.
Right, exactly. But our veterans, so I'd like to talk about tonight, our veterans, I mean, I know a lot of them. There's a lot of veterans out there that are homeless.
Oh, yes.
They can't get a job. There's a lot of mental illness with our veterans out there today. I belong to the VA hospital here in Pittsburgh. And hey, Vet Girl, and I'm telling you what, Jay, it's the best hospital ever. I mean, they take care of us veterans. You know what I mean? I go to
and they
hospital.
should. Yeah. I mean, you guys, some of you guys made the ultimate sacrifice and never came home.
Right.
But those of you that didn't sacrifice, you're still suffering.
When you go there and you see these old timers as Vietnam War people, there's not too many World War II no more. There's maybe some Korean War guys, but a lot of them are Vietnam vets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you sit down and you talk to them, and all they need to do is talk, to put a smile on these guys' faces. You know what I mean? And it's sad.
Even if you don't want to talk to them, just to walk up to and another thing, even if you don't want to talk to the vet, walk up to him and say, thank you. Thank you for your service.
You don't want to hear something crazy about that, Jay. Here's what's crazy about that. A lot of them don't even want to hear that. Thank you for serving. And I can guarantee you, my friend, I can seriously guarantee it, that if they had the opportunity to go back in, they would sign that paper.
Mm-hmm.
They would sign the paper, but they treat them so good. I mean, but it's just sad to see all this fighting from people up in Portland and all over, and they're just like mocking the military, and it's just not right.
Oh, it's going way bad. I think it was in Chicago. One of the newspapers laid out the upcoming ICE attack or ICE encounter, and put it on the front page of the newspaper. It's
right.
That's a felony. Who that newspaper is going to get? They're going to get Trumpified. Trump's going to buy them and take care of that.
Okay. That's a bad word on my show, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Okay, you can't really say that. Kevin says, I always thought you had to have gone to war to be a veteran. No, sir, Kevin.
Yes,
no, once you sign the dotted line, you are a veteran. That is reserved.
You can stay in the rear with the gear on the mainland of America all your career. And once you're out, you are a veteran.
Exactly. Kurt says the legwork vets have to do to try and get health care and everything is pure mind-blowing. Vets and children need taken care of better in this world. And that, Kurt, you hit the nail right on the head, or I guess I had that right. There, the hammer on the nail. But you know what? It is true. And it's hard, And what I really don't understand about the VA sometimes is that, they really honestly don't have a good mental health, program for all the vets.
And we see throughout the last few years of Biden, the woke scene, the trans
that's another
question.
That's another bad word on my show, buddy.
Oh, no, I know. I just that stuff. I mean, that was that. If that had continued to go on, that would have been the breakdown of our society. Our country would have fallen to absolute crap.
Well, exactly, and that's why you look at the militias that are out there, and most of your militia are guys who were in the service, who were, guys that could not go to the service, but they wanted to do something for our country.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, and I see all, and they're homeless vets too.
Yeah. That's the worst part of it. There's so many.
Thank God, the VA hospital doesn't turn on their backs on these veterans. They take so good care of them. I'm going to be honest with you, Jay. I'm telling you what, I went in there. Everyone knows that I had the cancer and I was in the hospital for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, they treated me like a king. And I didn't expect that, but they were treating me. Everybody was so freaking nice. Everyone was so nice to my mother when she came in. And I'm talking about, I'm talking from the janitor all the way up to the top doctors. The top doctors did not snub. I did not see them snub at any veterans. It's like, honestly, if I could tell you how it feels, okay, going to the VA hospital, right? How it feels is like, I'm in a safe place.
Yeah.
Okay, when I first started going there, Jay, okay, when I first started going there, I didn't want to leave the hospital because they were so freaking nice.
Yeah.
And what I love about the VA too is once they find something wrong with you, man, I mean, they're like white on rice. They do not let you go. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, these doctors will constantly like check up on you to, are you going to come to your appointment today? And if you can't make it, all you have to do is make a phone call and people will go out and pick you up to take you. You know what I mean? I know people that live in West Virginia.
To hear. I have a question for you about the VA though. So now they won't, like if I had an emergency and that was the closest hospital, they wouldn't take me, would they?
What's that now?
I'm not a veteran, so let's say I had an emergency and the veteran hospital was the only hospital closest, and they wouldn't take me in there, would they?
You know what? I don't know that question. I would have to say they would have to take you. You know,
maybe on the emergency room level, but yeah.
But as being an in care patient, Sally says
going back to what Kurt was saying earlier, I think it was Kurt. You're in now. You've got your health care settled, but for those vets that haven't, applied or gotten their VA medical assistance, how hard is it? Is there a lot of red tape and a lot of hoops to jump through to get yourself, into that medical system?
Not if you're a veteran. Not if you're a veteran. If you have your DD 214, and and if you're on discharge, yeah. I mean, you're in like Flint. Sally says if our country had better health care and mental healthier people, less people would choose to join the military. This is all by design. I guess it could be, Sally, but I know a lot of people. For me, though, I wanted to join the Navy. I wanted to go and serve this country. I wanted to do that. And the majority of the people that do serve, they want to go and serve. And that's how it goes today. Now, maybe back in Vietnam was a different story, because they were drafted. And there was a lot of draft dodgers that actually went up into Canada to get away from the draft, and people actually, I think one of the Ullman brothers deliberately shot himself in the leg so he didn't have to go over to Vietnam. I think it was one of the Ullman brothers.
There's an alleged story that Jerry Garcia had his brother chop off his one of his pinkies about mid-knuckle so he wouldn't have to go. But the actual true story is they were chopping wood and his brother accidentally cut his pinky off while they were splitting wood for the house. And then Pink Floyd, Jerry's brother's name was Eugene. And in one of their songs, there's a line that says, Careful with that axe, Eugene. They're talking about Jerry Garcia.
Hey, Jay, can you play a song? We're coming up on our break. It is at the 30-minute mark. Can you play the one right underneath Toby Keith, please?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate it. So we're going to put out another song, maybe. Yeah, one more song in order, for our break. So we're going on break. So if you have to go smoke a cigarette, get a cup of coffee, do what you got to do. We will be back in about a couple minutes.
I'm not ready yet. I lost my window. There we are.
There we go. Okay. You don't know how much I appreciate Jay coming on and being my producer on this one. All right. Miss says, I had an old friend who put his foot in a vat of hot fat so he could be sent home. I believe that, dude. I believe that, Miss. Okay, everybody. You ready, buddy?
Okay. Let me present it on the screen here. Oh, crap. Just a second here.
Okay, we're getting there, guys, ladies and gents. We are. So okay. A lot of people. Okay, here we go, everybody. We'll see you in a couple minutes. welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Jay, for playing that again.
You're welcome.
All right, how about we're going to play one more song, and about this song right here. This is part of the break, but I just love this song. It's one of the best military movies ever. So can you play for me, buddy?
Is it the third one down?
Yeah. No, the last one.
The last one. Okay, because the third one is Taps. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
That's the end.
Y'all are in for a treat. Let me get it set up here for you.
I'm telling you what,
right
everybody, but that just gives me goosebumps when I actually see that video of all the different armed forces and their songs. You know what I mean? I guess you have to be a veteran to understand the true meaning. Now, maybe you don't. I don't. You know, maybe your parents, your dad was, or your moms were in the military, but it just gives me goosebumps. You know, and somebody said that if I wanted to join again, I would do it. I would, but not so much doing it, but I would try my best to help out in the matter. Are you ready there, Jay? Okay, yep. We're still on break, everybody. I need to tell you, everybody, that I look at this, you know, it's not because the movie's called Kelly's Heroes. It's like one of the best ever. Um, One of the best, you know, war movies that I thought was good. If you get a chance, watch it. Let's see what we got here. Kevin wrote, um, Kevin says, World Wars, us worldwide, so veterans in every country, I would think. There are plenty here, older people mostly, and many deceased at this point, but military kids carry the torch. Mish, I haven't heard of those movies, but I might have to check those out. Aussie movies, Breaker Morant and Gallipoli.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know about
those are very good war movies. I haven't seen them in a long time. I think I don't know if I saw Gallipoli, but I'm sure I saw parts of Breaker Morant.
Okay. Welcome back to the second part. You know, it's getting close because CL is going to have the most wonderful guest on earth on her show tonight, Miss Michelle DeRoche. I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. Okay. And don't forget, CL's Gateway podcast will be on right after mine. So go over. Thank you, Heidi. And we'll come on over, go over and watch CL. And I mean, with Michelle, honest to gosh, it's going to be a very, very good show on her. But what I'd like to read here, okay, it's the Vietnam War veteran. It's called the Veteran's Creed. Thank you, Kevin. I am a veteran. I have seen and done things you may not understand. I am a warrior. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit, and I will never leave. A fallen brother or sister, if they are hurt, I will carry them. If I can't carry them, I will drag them. I will help them face their enemies, to include the demons from within. They are my brothers and my sisters. I am a veteran. That is deep. I mean, and that's the way I am now, you know. And it just brings, you know, it just gives me chills up and down. We talked about the veterans and we talked about the brothers and sisters, and they are my brothers and sisters. But why don't we talk about the families of the veterans? The families, the wives, the mothers, the fathers, and what they went through during these wars, or what they went through for 4 years, or how long.
They're going through some just as horrible stuff. Yeah. If you look on the TV, there's a lot of commercials for, veterans that are getting help from Tunnel to Towers and other organizations. And, you see these women that have their husbands are basically reduced to a vegetable almost. I mean, they can't speak. They're so crippled and hurt from their, mangled from their war experience. Who's the real hero here? Is it the guy who, jumped on the grenade and comes back paralyzed? Or is it his wife who stands by him and takes care of that man because he can't do things for himself anymore? So the military mindset isn't just military. It trickles down to the civilian realm. And you see these strong, courageous women that these husbands with horrible, horrible malformations and sicknesses and things that they have to, it's constant care. They basically have to become a 24/7 registered nurse.
Yes, absolutely. And I think they're the real heroes too. I think the wives and the mothers, especially the mothers and the fathers of the vets that got hurt especially over in Afghanistan and Iraq, when an IED would explode in their Humvee and stuff like that. But
there's also the chemicals that they expose themselves to. There's a lot of them that talk about, they weren't hurt by a bomb or bullet. They, chemicals that were, in the battle zone have caused them serious maladies.
Well, one of the biggest chemicals was during the Vietnam War was called Agent Orange.
Agent Orange.
Okay. And I know a lot of people, and it was like, it's terrible. There are some vets over at the VA hospital that are actually dealing with Agent Orange right now to this day. What I want to ask everybody out there.
I don't see a problem with any of the feeds, but Heidi's having problems with sending messages through YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what, Heidi? All the songs that I played tonight, probably YouTube took the show down.
They might have. Yeah. I don't see any. There's no reds up here right now. It looks like all the feeds are on, but who knows?
Right. Chemical warfare is just terrible, Kurt. But before we go, because we have about 7 minutes left before we have to turn the network over to CL. But
and Michelle.
and oh no, CL, and then Michelle's the guest. Yes.
Yes.
But everybody out there, I know that me and Jay talked about, the U.S. military. But I also want to thank the Canadians. I also want to thank the Australians and all the countries that are out there that are listening to my podcast, okay, today. I want to thank their military, their brothers and sisters, for how they serve their countries. I mean, yes, I am in the United States and I am talking about the U.S. military, but I want to give my thoughts and prayers to all the other, military out there in the world. I just needed to do that. You're welcome, Kevin. I mean, it's true. You sign the dotted line, you go into war, okay? And whenever you got to do what you got to do in order, because you signed that dotted line, and whatever happens, But I can guarantee it, everybody. A lot of the disabled vets out there, you tell them, hey, do you want to go back in again? They will do it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
They will do it in a heartbeat. I'm 63, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heidi. Yes, gratitude to all who have served. And that one clip about Kelly's heroes. My heroes are in my chat room tonight. My heroes are Jay, Joe, Michelle. My heroes are all the hosts on UPRN Talk Radio. So I have a lot of heroes. But I don't know. I think this was a good show tonight. And I definitely think that maybe we need to, start thinking about our veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Oh, yes. I agree.
We have to start thinking about them. And everybody, when I say, Miss says, want to hear weird, our state of Victoria have the power to jail you if you pray for another person if they ask for prayer. I did not know
That's
that.
messed up. That's
craziness, man. That is really crazy.
I've got a quick story about the mindset and the tenacity of our military men. One of my friends, his name is Holt. I won't give you his last name. He was an Army Ranger, Black Beret, out of Fort Stewart in Georgia. Taught me how to tactically draw my weapon and shoot and hit my targets. So I thank him for that service. But he was in Afghanistan and he was in a foxhole with several people. One of his buddies stood up to take a shot. He was hit in his chest in his bulletproof armor by a 7.62 39 AK-47 bullet. It knocked him on the ground. He lost his breath. When he caught his breath again, the gentleman stood back up to take another shot, got nailed again in his trauma plate, fell back on his ground, lost his lungs again for a minute, recovered, stood back up for a third time to take a shot, and got nailed a third time in the same place and fell on his butt, winded again. My friend Holt was in that hole seeing this, and this gentleman, this very, very brave gentleman, goes to stand back up for a fourth time, and my friend Holt says, "You sit down, you're done." Had he taken another shot, he would have died.
Right.
So that's how that's the tenacity of our troops. They will keep going until they are dead, and they won't stop. They won't stop.
And you know what? That's how they deal with it being when they are retired, or whenever they get out.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt. And even being civilians, they will do the same way. That's why, for me, I will go, and it's just inbred in me from being in the military to help as many people as I can. And I feel bad for that. And what Mish said about her government for prayer, that's not right.
That's messed up.
That is totally messed up. That really,
arresting someone for wishing, health and prosperity on someone in a prayer is, it's kind of communistic.
It's kind of screwed. Kevin, you leaving us already? Yeah, get over there and get ready for CL. You know,
See you, Kevin. Thanks for coming in.
Michelle. Yeah.
And the one last thing I'd like to say, Sean, is thank you for your service. My favorite military service is the Navy. I almost made the jump. I didn't. Now I'm in my 60s. I'm going to be 60 next year. I regret not having taken the leap. However, all of you guys, not just Sean, anyone who served, thank you for your service. Some of you made the ultimate sacrifice. Some of you came back whole. Some of you didn't. But because of you, we don't have anybody aggressing our country. We are so safe right now with our president and the way he's bumping up our military. The recent propaganda on the hurt warriors, the different charities you see on TV, it's not enough. I mean, these guys suffered, and we need to do more.
Right. Absolutely. Jay, can you put up that last song for me? Because
yes,
I'm going to be running out. I'll tell you when to play it, okay? Everybody, thank you for tuning into the show tonight. It was a great show, I do believe. I want to thank all the brothers and sisters in the military, a very, in the, Veterans Day. You all deserve it. You all deserve a hug. And yeah, I can actually tell you that I love you. I do. I love you. I respect you. I might not know you, but I definitely do have all the respect in the world for you. And on that note, don't forget CL. She's got Michelle DeRoche on next on her show as a guest. And I do believe everything, it's going to be like one of the best shows ever. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents and you have no children, find someone, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And since this is Veterans Day, if you find a veteran, give them a hug and tell them that you love them, because those 3 words go a long way. And on that note, good night, everybody. And Jay, can you play the song?